Okay then, in today's video I'll be going over the easiest way that you can beat the Soul-Burst HOGANOSH raids. Although I should warn you, this specific method is pretty slow when it comes to actually beating the HOGANOSH raid, since we'll be going over one of the easiest Loomians that you can get your hands on without needing to spend the time trying to get a secret ability or a legendary Loomian. But with that being said, let's go over the team, which is just Ventation. You can bring other Loomians of your choosing if you want to, but Ventation can solo the raids. This Ventation is going to want a Health Amulet, the ability Protective Shell, the moves Brace, Battering Ram, Slumber and Soft Water, and the TPs being 200 health, 200 melee defense, 44 energy, and 56 range defense. It would also be for the best if you try and get maxed out UPs in as many stats as possible, although it isn't super necessary, it's just that the battle will be a little bit tougher. The idea is to make ourselves as bulky as possible on the melee side, since every move that the HOGANOSH uses is melee or Lineage Soul move. We can use Brace to raise our melee defense stat even higher to better tank against the HOGANOSH, but also to increase the damage of our Battering Ram move, which uses our melee defense stats. And because of our ability Protective Shell, the HOGANOSH can't critical hit us and bypass our melee defense stat increases. The Health Amulet will heal us at the end of each turn unless HOGANOSH hits us with a soul move, which will remove our item, so then we have to use Soft Water to help with that. And Slumber is mostly here in case we get poisoned by HOGANOSH's Baneful Bash move. I guess I should also mention that you can do this with or without a teammate, it doesn't ultimately matter. But moving on to the strategy, when you hop into a battle against the HOGANOSH, you will first want to set up a Soft Water as soon as possible to regen health over the entire battle, and we'll want to go for about 2 or 3 braces. Once we've done that, we'll want to use Battering Ram to slowly whittle away at HOGANOSH's first health bar, or 2. We're specifically looking for the HOGANOSH to remove our stat increases after a health bar is depleted. And once that happens, HOGANOSH won't be able to do that again for the rest of the battle, so now we can safely go for 6 braces to max out our melee defense stat without the risk of them being removed. Once our melee defense stat is maxed out at +6, all we have to do now is start spamming Battering Ram for the rest of the battle. Just make sure that if you get poisoned to use Slumber before we get too low on health. And that's it, it's a super easy Loomian to get your hands on, and the strategy is also as simple as it gets. The only issue, like I said before, is that this one battle took me like 16 minutes to solo it, but if you're only planning to beat it just to get the Soul Burst item and saddle, then it should be fine. Although, if you're planning on beating it more than that for cake points or even the event discs, it might be worth looking into a faster strategy. Like Obsidian, I'm not going to do a separate video on this one, but it's basically the same strategy, although it requires the secret ability Resilience, which can take time to get. But here's that set, if you want to go for it, you'll want to use Burrow to increase our melee defense stats and Body Crash to deal damage, which since it isn't resisted, will be a lot faster than Battering Ram that Ventation uses. The only issue with Obsidian is the health management. Since we're not immune to critical hits, the HOGANOSH can bypass our melee defense stat increases and deal huge amounts of damage. And I guess technically you could switch out the secret ability on Obsidian for the ability Sharp Edges and it will still work, you'll just have to be even more careful.